that's so dilapidated. I love my hometown, but sometimes I really hate it. And I look around and see what downtown has created. Other than the football team, this city's overrated. People have a leader when our men are elevated. Up to now it hasn't happened and I'm getting frustrated. Wonder where everybody be when I'm marching and putting them signs. Get concerned citizens speaking strongly about what's on our mind. Teachers get their bidding because of the way they've been mistreated. Victims of police brutality, which is too often repeated. Attorneys who do nothing, don't stand up, you just be seated. We'll stand up and speak for ourselves, we're tired of being cheated. Pastors line mega churches with million-member congregations, while our public schools have been rated the worst in the nation. Come on, we gotta have something better to leave the next generation. I mean, that's why we're here, blood, tears, and perspiration. We laugh at day, they say, excuse me, that's where I live. Some people call it ghetto, what it is, what it is. We laugh at day, they say, where I'm from. But as I look around, everybody can see that the community has gone down. Our community has gone down, way down. K-Star First Love, KAESTARFIRSTLOVE. Google it. Okay, this is gonna be a long video here. Stay to the end. It's going to be a special surprise for you viewers. So I want to speak on the war that America is in right now. The jihad, because that's what it is. We just know that we pissed off right now, like I was pissed off. Oh, let me also say that I am a survivor of immigration marriage fraud, and I just divorced this year, 2025. And I got to give a shout out to another YouTuber, Rebecca Zung, because I watch her videos, ZUNG, and that's how I figured out what I had to deal with, right? And once I figured out the nature of the beast, which is what we're trying to do as Americans right now, trying to figure out what the nature of the beast is and what's going on. Well, I had the first experience because, my experiences with a third wheel Kenyan, I married after I pretty much felt I was comfortable with knowing, her Kenyan brother for 10 years or so, and I trusted him as, one of my best friends, and he was part of the scam too, so I'm coming from a first-hand experience about third world country behavior in America. Very disrespectful, and very scandalous. It took me 2 years when I found out that the marriage was a fraud. And after 2 years of, just letting all the agencies know that, it was a fraud, and then it came to a violent end when she attacked me when she found out that, I was actually not going along. I just wasn't going along with it, because that's what they want. They want you to go along with whatever they're doing, whatever it is. You never know what it is until you find out, and you be like, oh my, what the? And then it's like, oh my goodness, very devastating. Will steal your finances by the thousands, tens of thousands, like that lady in Minnesota, by the billions. Yeah. So as far as the terrorist thing, first let me give you a little background. My first time actually being aware of terrorism in America was in 1982, because I started working for a government agency, okay, in 1982, and the government agency I worked for was called the National Security Agency, right? And I got a top secret clearance, and I was 19 years old when I graduated from local school, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. It was like smartest #1 Baltimore City school, known to turn out smart people and engineers and things like that, because it's an engineering school. So back in them days, FBI, CIA, NSA would come to our school and just recruit
some of the smartest people. They would test us and stuff like that. And I would test, and every test they gave, I would pass with real good scores. So they hired me right out of high school. So when I started working at Fort Meade, and I had a top secret clearance, and my job was to monitor foreign countries. I'm in Fort Meade, but back then, you know, just like people on the internet now, I pretty much was on the internet then. In 1982, I go to the job and I get on the internet. I didn't know what it's called, the internet, but they called it something else then. They had a top secret name for it and everything. They called it something else then, and I would actually get on, I would call it the internet, just like you guys. I know it's a tool, and since we're at war, you know, our people at war right now, you know, and we're using this as a tool. And the only reason why I even throw my dime in the hat is because we've had those service people that was attacked in Washington D.C. during a national holiday. That 20-year-old girl or 20-year-old lady, the service, you know, the service person was shot and killed. And that's the only reason why y'all looking at me right now. Cause I wouldn't even be on here if we weren't attacked like that. Okay, so I'm learning about terrorism because I'm working at the National Security Agency at the time, and that was my job, to have my earphones on and with my, and it's like you guys be on, like I see you guys with your earphones and stuff like that. Well, that's what I was doing in 1982. Okay. And I would go in there, put my earphones on, have my two screens like a lot of you guys have right now, even your homes and stuff like that. Well, I was doing that, you know, with the government and everything, and I was listening to the foreign countries, and Afghanistan was one of them, okay? But you guys tune into K-Star First Love, because that's what I done. I'm a musician. So when I was working for the government, even though I had my earphones supposed to be listening to the different countries, which I did, you know, I also found some frequencies that was playing Michael Jackson. So I was listening to a lot of Michael Jackson and all kinds of stuff like that, you know, because I'm a musician. I wasn't really interested in being the spy that they put me on a position and stuff. You know, they was gonna send me over to England and things of that nature. They had a whole program for me to go, you know, stretch that. I wanted to play my music, you know. I was born to play music, you know. I'm a player, born player, and I know that, you know. So I was like, man, I can't just keep on doing this, you know. So basically, that's where I got my first experience knowing about foreign terrorists and stuff like that, because that was my job. It was my job. That's what I did when I went to, you know, the National Security Agency every day. I went and listened to different frequencies by my earphones and listen to different countries and things. Afghanistan was one of them. Keep that in note. Okay, fast forward, as a musician, I know what's going to Hollywood and everything. So, you know, as a kid, I was looking forward to going to California, and as I studied, you know, Los Angeles, things of that nature, I saw how they had a lot of Latino people there and everything, and, you know, God blessed me where I could learn Spanish, you know. So yo estudio español en mi escuela aquí en Baltimore para 5 años. So la lengua de mí muy bien. Okay, so cause I was expecting to marry a woman from another side, on the other side of the world, and I thought she was gonna be Latino or something like that. So I learned Spanish, and because then I knew when I go to, you know, Los Angeles and Hollywood and things of that nature, a lot of them be there, and I wanted to kind of be able to what you call assimilate. I guess you call it assimilate, because I know it was there to use the words, a new word. You know, I don't like the word assimilate. I like the word love. You know, if you just love somebody, you ain't got to assimilate, or whatever the word is. You automatically, like the melting pot of America. You will automatically be the melting pot type thing. You know, so I learned my Spanish and everything to go to LA. So I got in a little trouble when I was out there in 1999. Okay, check this out now. Keep that a pen in there, 1999. Okay, I got in a little trouble. 1999. Prince had already sang 1999 in like 80 something like that. So I partied like it was 1999. I got in a little trouble drinking and driving. And when I got in trouble, you know, you get to go to jail, and then you have to wait to go see the judge. Okay, now in LA, down about at the Baltimore, at the LA men's, you know, jail. LA County Men's Jail. You know, they have what's called a holding pen. And a holding pen is where they hold people. It's like a cage, and they hold about 30 inmates in there, and everybody is only in there for a couple hours because everybody's in there to go to see the judge. So they're coming from all over the place. They're coming from San Quentin, Folsom. They're coming from the street. They're coming from everywhere, and everybody's in the pen, the holding cell, not the penitentiary. It's not a penitentiary. It's the jail cell that they hold you in before you go see the judge. Some of them getting sentenced, you know, getting their time and things of that nature, and some of them, you know, was like me, just, you know, got their DUIs and things of that nature. But you're all in there at the same time for this little bit of time. And the demographics of LA at that time, like, guess what? When you go to the you go to jail, you're gonna have to deal with more Latinos than anything. You're gonna have, like, at this time, it was like 80% Latinos when you go in, and then you might have, I would say, like, maybe, let's say 75% Latinos, something like that. And then you may can give the other 20%, 75, get the other 20% to the blacks. You know, you can count them together because when you're behind bars down there, you know, they don't fight each other, Crips and Bloods, so you can put them together. And then the other 5%, you would say they call them Woods. It's white people, they call them Woods. But this was 1999. So it wasn't no Arabs in that whole, except for one. It was one Arab. Okay? So now, like I say, when you're in the holding cell, you're getting people that was in jail for a while, who know the system, all kind of stuff like that, you know. And then you get people in there that just came into the system and they don't know anything. So when you go into a facility, the first thing they do, it's gonna be 3 people. There's gonna be 3 people out there. It's gonna be the black for the blacks. There's gonna be a Latino for the Latino, maybe 2, maybe for the Pisces, the South Border Brothers, and then you got one for the Woods. But it wasn't really one for no area, nothing like that, because, you know, it just wasn't like that. But we had one in our holding cell. So, and I saw out of 30 inmates in there, pretty much, I would guessed about. He was the only one, and it was like, in this particular time, so it was like 30 of us. Let's say 20 of them was Mexican, like Latino, out of 30. Let's say 8 of them was black, 1 was white, and 1 was this Arab dude. So we're in the holding cell. Okay, so we're in there, pretty much everybody's sitting down, minding their business, everybody talking, you know, everybody got to go see the judge and everything, but, you know, we're there in a cool situation because nobody in their cell, nothing like that. We just all together, nobody trying to kick up, nothing like that, you know. But the one white dude was a big burly white dude with a beard and everything, like a, you know, big trucker or something like that, you know. And everybody was like, you know, just dapping it up with each other, ones who know each other, because some of the cats know each other. It's LA, you know, they know each other, they talking things of that nature. It's people just, you know, going back and forth with their thing. So then the white dude just kept farting, right? And then you could tell he just came out of the street, because if he'd have been there for a while, he'd have known not to do that, right? Right? Wasn't paying him no mind. And he was a black dude. I don't know if he was a gangbanger. He was a gangbanger. I don't know what gang he was from. He was a gangbanger, right? He stood up. He said, "Man, don't do that. You go over there and you sit on that toilet and you flush your fart. You flush your fart. You don't sit up in here and fart. It's disgusting and it's stinking." And the dude ain't paying him no mind. And if you've been in, you know that's like rule number 1. Flush your fart. Flush your fart. Flush your fart. Everybody know that. Flush your fart. Everybody know that. It's too confined for everybody to fart. I mean, you know, so he just, man, that black dude took off on that dude, man. And that dude just could not just catch them swings that fella was throwing in his face. Beat him real good, just right in front of everybody. Bam! So then the dude got up, the white dude got up staggered, right? He got him staggered. And then he sat up on the toilet and flushed. He farted and flushed. And when that happened, the Arab stood up. He said, we're going to kill many Americans in America. Many Americans. Death to America. Death to America. So everybody looking at him like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because death to America. We're going to kill many Americans. This is 1999, right? So everybody, man, go on back to the country you come from, man. You know, even like the Mexicans, and they from here too. They ain't, you know, we ain't had that back then. You know what I'm saying? 1999. Man, going back we come from, man. Yeah, man, we're going to kill many Americans, many Americans. And they was like, man, get out of here, man. You know, we got missiles and stuff that are intercept anything y'all got come from way over there where you come from. Man, he like, yeah, you have planes and you have bombs, but you don't have hot. You have no hot. He said, your soldiers, your pilots, you go to war, you kiss your family goodbye, you kiss your wife goodbye, you say, sweetheart, I'm going to war. I'll be back as soon as I can. We don't do that. We call it jihad. We don't do that. When we go to war, we go home, we kiss our kids, we kiss our wives, and we say, we're not coming back. We're going to war. That is the difference. You guys come over in airplanes into our lands, and you fly planes and you throw bombs. We won't do that. We will come to your land, fly planes, and Adar Akbar right into your buildings. We like, man, get out of here, man. Nobody gonna see them like that. Now, my NSA spider senses is tingling up here now, right? Because this is 1999. This is past 82 when I was working for when I was a G-man. You know what I'm saying? And he said, yeah. He said, your kids, you want to buy them toys. You have them watch television. Our kids, we learn how to shoot AK-47s. We have training camps. We lay down at 11, 12, 14 years old. We learn how to shoot in training camps. They're like, yeah, y'all ain't got nothing. How y'all gonna do it? Yeah, because we have guns from the CIA, your government. So we're training. We're training. Your government, we're training. And we're like, nah, man, get out of here. You know, you're like, oh yes. And your government, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. I was just stopped last week. Police stopped me and become, I'm an immigrant. They let me go. That is so stupid. Death to America. Death. And I'm like, oh shit, this is 1999. And so I'm like, my spider sense is tingling because, like I said, I worked for the NSA for years, and that was one of my targets, was Afghanistan. You know, so he explained exactly what you know, we was told that they've been training and things. They've been training for years though. They've been training for years. So right now, this is their jihad. This is it. You know, and it may not be what the Christian Africans call it, and Arabs and Somalians who don't know which way they want to go. Now, you know, it's like that. So this is their time of jihad. So we are in a war, a covert war, and Americans are being attacked. That's the only reason why I'm making this video right now. Yep. Like, I had to deal with this war within my house. Because like I said, I survived a fraudulent marriage. There's nothing like having a fraudulent immigrant in your country. They was in my house. Same thing. Because even though the fraud is not in my house, she frauded her way into the country, and as long as she stay here, she's winning. They're winning. Every day they stay, they're winning. Every day they stay, they're winning. So It's a war going on. I declared war on the Kenyans in my home. I did the Bugs Bunny. When I got to the point, I was like, I saw all I can stand. Like y'all are now. I see y'all on the videos. Y'all be pissed. I said, I'm past that point. Because I had the sheriffs come remove her. Take her out of there. Just, whoop! Element of surprise. That's what they got. See, Donald Trump got that for them. So we got to just chill out. You know, no contact. Don't even concern yourself about deportations and things of that nature. Because it scared me. You know, when the sheriffs came to my crib and had to take her out and things like that. You know, I didn't like it. I know it was the end of my American dream. My American dream, but it's part of theirs. They like drama and all kinds of stuff like that because it's a part of them keeping what they came for. They don't care about breaking our law. She said, that oh, I'm not listening to you. I refuse. I'm like, okay. So, from the first experience, like I say, with the NSA being asked about terrorists and stuff like that on applications and stuff like that, which, you know, I wasn't exposed to it till I had to work and do that thing, and that didn't last too long. It ain't last long, you know. But it lasts long enough while I recognize terrorism as a serious situation in America, and then that experience in LA with that real life terrorist in that holding cell just triggered my hairs on my back, and that was in 1999. So you know what happened to me in 2001 when them planes hit those buildings with them, you know, Arabs or whatever they are, whatever you call them. I don't know what they were, but I think they were Arabs. Hit them planes like that. It's on and cracking. It's on and cracking. That's why you feel like y'all feel. You pissed off. You're like, how can they treat us like this after we've been so nice, been so open? They utilize that. That's what they use. That's what they use. They utilize that. That's part of the covert operation. Since they look like us and things of that nature, you know, I'm just speaking on a personal note because I open my arms, I open my home, my heart, my family to a third world family. You know, the fraudulent wife and her son. He was 9 years old when he left Kenya. 9. You know, so my marriage didn't feel like a marriage. It felt like an invasion. You know, it didn't feel like a relationship. It felt like I was harboring immigrants. And I just wasn't gonna do it. I just not gonna do that. So basically, act of war. To me, it's an act of war. When she was just acting cruelly to me, like they act cruelly to us, and then I found out all of the fraudulent stuff that was going behind my back with tax forms and IRS forms, and see, because it's fraud all across the board. It ain't just like a little bit of fraud. The whole kit and caboodle. The whole life is a fraudulent life. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is what I would do, because Donald Trump is doing real good. The president is doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Donald Trump, for your Christmas present of deportation, mass deportation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm almost to my destination. You gotta see my destination. If you stuck with me this far, I'm almost there. See, because there's a lot of things that's happening, right, that we're overlooking. All right, I'm in Baltimore, right? I live in Baltimore, so y'all know what happened in Baltimore. What happened in Baltimore? The Francis Scott Key Bridge was destroyed. Okay? Now look at that. Francis Scott Key. If you don't know who Francis Scott Key is, Francis Scott Key is the cat that wrote our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early night. That cut, okay? So that was written here in Baltimore. Okay? So that bridge is a historical bridge, not only because they named the bridge after Francis Scott Key, also because they also believe that that was the location where Francis Scott Key actually wrote our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. So that's history. See? Way they want it, They want the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge, the way they tell it, the way the Somalians talking about, it's gonna be built by immigrants. That's why they gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. Just like, you know, they had to leave my house, they gotta leave my country. That's for real. So this is what I would do. I would just declare war. I would give all the immigrants, the green card people, I would let them know y'all got 21 days to go back to where you come from. If your mother and your father was not born here, and you need to get up out of here and go back to where you come from. You can't prove it, you can't get out, don't stay. Have your people take you back to where y'all gotta go. Because in 21 days, anybody we find, we're gonna take their money, take all their money, right? Because every day they stay, right, and try to manipulate you and talk and all kinds of stuff like that, they're winning. So no, you can't stay. No, you gotta go now. You gotta go now. Give them 21 days. Get all your stuff, get your stuff in order, get all your family. Everybody. We are the enemy. Everybody come to attack Americans. They attacked me in my own home. They sat there and came all across the country and attacked that girl who was defending our honor. And she volunteered. After that happened, I was like, nah, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna speak my piece every day. I'm gonna get out here because I know the harm that illegal immigration does to an American, okay? Well, I recovered. I mean, I got the attorneys to represent me with the IRS because they always getting the money. They're close to the money and screw the money up. Screw my money up and try to make theirs multiply illegally, fraudulent. It's always a fraud. That's why I say they all gotta go. Let the country heal like I healed. You know, before I got a new girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? I had to heal first. But she was anxious. She was like, you know, I'm with you and everything, but you know, I want you to know I love you for real. And that's what we need. Some real love in America. That's all. Not no fake love, people skinning and grinning our face, you know, when they trying to get something, but let them get what they get, then they talk like, oh, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going outside the yard. She thought she wasn't going nowhere. And she attacked me, right? Physically attacked me. Vicious. Yeah, real vicious, right? And then, that was like 2 days before Valentine's Day. And then Valentine's Day, she thinks she's gonna give me a card with $20 in it because she done worked at Amazon for the last, I don't know, 2 years now, 3 years, something like that. You know, she got a little $20, things of that nature. So, I know how illegal immigration devastates you. I mean, totally devastates you because you don't expect it. You're being yourself. We're being Americans. We're opening our arms. That's like me. Y'all do. We all do because that's just our nature. Their nature is the opposite, I guess you would call it. I don't know what it is. You have to go to Rebecca Zung, Z-U-N-G, and listen to Covert, type in Covert with her, and that's the nature that these people possess, or possess them, or whatever. So I'm at the end of my destination now. You know, I was calling my immigrant wife at the time Joy, right? Because like the pastor that married us, he said, Kev, you look like you was so happy because it was the answer to my prayer. I had prayed, you know, that one day I would marry a woman from other side of the world. I'd never been here before, you know, and it happened. Her name, and I called her Joy. Her name wasn't Joy, you know, and but I called her Joy, you know, and but she was no joy at all. She was cruel. She was very, very mean, very mean. So right around the time that I found out that my marriage was a fraud, you know, God blessed me with a little yacht. So no contact is first. That's how I did, no contact, and I spent a lot of time on my yacht while she was at my apartment just doing whatever she wanted to do. Like they want to do. They just want to do whatever they want to do, talk to you over in a kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But they want to take our money and send it back to their country and things of that nature. Send it to their rebels and things like that. So her name was Joy. So when I got this yacht, I did like my dad. My dad bought a boat and named it after his wife, my mother, Dora L. So I got my yacht I named it after my wife, see? Cavs Joy, that's my yacht. And I haven't been on in a while. As you see, it's frozen. The lake is frozen, and so it's sitting in ice. Oh, this is ice. And I haven't been out here for a while to check on it. But if you stayed this long, thank you very much. We're in a war. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I won the war in my house. I went to Bugs Bunny. I was like, of course you know this means war, huh? So, like I say, if I was Trump, I'd give everybody. I give you 21 days, pack your stuff, and go back home. Because if you stay, you know, we're the enemy, and we're tired of being an enemy. Right now, we're just sick and tired. We're tired of the disgusting way we've been treated. Okay? So, thank you everybody for spending this little time with me. Check out my music. This is 2025 right now. It's Christmas time, and I'm gonna start with releasing my music in 2026. So, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff, because I'm gonna check my yacht out. I ain't been on it in a while. I'll be out here this summer doing some shoots and shots and shorts and all kind of things out here, because it's a lot of fun on my yacht. Hey.